How's it going, everybody? So today I'd like to talk a little bit about holding your pick and two different ways that you can hold your pick that's really going to allow you to get these Eric Johnson / Shawn type of pentatonic passages, under your fingers a lot faster. So, believe it or not, the way that we can do that is actually found from day one now. When we start playing single chords and just learning to strum. Because what's going on here is we have kind of a downward and upward movement in our hand. Well, if we translate that to picking, that actually makes for a very good movement, as we'll see. So when I first started to learn alternate picking, I'd say, okay, man, it'd be really cool to be able to do these pentatonic passages like this. And I would sit there and I would just practice. I wouldn't get very fast because what's going on is I thought that the pick had to be held at a 90-degree angle to the strings. And what that does is it actually causes a lot of issues. So, for example, if the pick is just held like this, we don't strum like this. If you look at the natural curvature of our hand is down and up. So, if we hold our pick at a 90-degree, well, it causes a lot of issues because if we have a downstroke, we're stuck in between the strings. We can't go anywhere. Can't have any movement, can't have any freedom of speed. If we have an upstroke, same thing. So we have to find some way of escaping, some escape hatch that we can do that's going to allow us to move out of the plane of being stuck so we can get to the next string. Because we don't really want this hopping motion, if we're going to another string. That just slows us down and makes things difficult. So if we have two different ways of doing this. We have what's called a downward pick slant, which is where the back of our hand here is actually facing the floor. We have an upper pick slant to where the back of our hand is facing the ceiling. So those are kind of the two different ways that you want to hold your pick when you're doing like the 2 note per string passages here. So if we look at the way, I'll start with this way because I'm better at it. The upward pick slant. This would be to where your back of your hand is facing the ceiling. So if we have an upstroke in this position, if we start a pattern with an upstroke, what happens is we start the pattern with an upstroke, up, and we're stuck. Now the downstroke allows us to pull away from the body of the guitar, and it allows us to move to the next string. Again, upstroke, we're stuck. And then if we have downstroke, it allows us to move a little bit. So holding your pick in that position really helps things out. And it's kind of the opposite the other way. Other ways where your pick is where the back of your hand is facing the floor. Now, if we have a downstroke in this position, now this position here is primarily used like by Eric Johnson, which he's incredibly good at it. I am not. I actually struggle holding the pick in this position. For some reason, I don't know why. You would think that it would be the same because it's pretty much the opposite of the upward pick slant. But it's a downward pick slant. I just can't. I know kind of the rules of picking it. I'm not fast. But so if we have a downward slant in this position, downstroke, we'd actually be stuck again between the strings. So we have an upstroke. The upstroke allows us to move again. So these two pick slants are opposite of one another. And again, that's kind of the downward pick slant. Again, not very good. Yeah, I'm not very good at that one. But if I turn it the opposite direction, where I'm starting with an upstroke, you know, it's better. I need to warm up today. But anyway, so give that a shot with these pentatonic ideas and let me know what you think. This should help you quite a bit. And like I said, I wish I'd known this many years ago. Would have definitely helped things out. So let me know what you think.